James, how do you do the things you do? I still can't believe that it's true. I get hungry when I think of you. Like champagne and caviar, you're such a treat. Like cherries Jubilee, you're oh so sweet. You whet my appetite each time we meet. Oh, James, it's true. I get hungry when I think of you.
Hi there, I'm James Barber, and I'm making crepes. I'm making crepes. You put on a plate like that, lots and lots of crepes. You just stack them up, and then you finish them looking like that, because that's a fancy dessert, because we're going to do Hungarian food today. So that's what you do. You get 2 pans, and this is where non-stick pans really come into their own, because you just use a non-stick pan, and you don't have to put any fat in it at all. You've got a little bit of oil in the pan, and you just flip it over, and as soon as you can see what it does around the edge where it's cooked, okay, just get it underneath, flip it over. 1 minute, out it goes onto the pan as soon as it's done. Now I'm going to show you how to make the batter. You have to make batter in advance. If you're going to make crepes, you make it a little bit in advance. You can make it a couple hours in advance if you like, that's just fine. But what you need is eggs to start with and a whisk, and you just beat up the whisk. Now the big thing about crepe batter is you're not making hot cakes, you're making it really, really thin. And so what we're going to do with this is put about a tablespoonful of sugar in there, not too much. All right, about a tablespoonful of sugar and a little bit of salt, a pinch of salt, gives it that sort of extra flavor. Want a little bit of baking powder. What have we got? Teaspoon of baking powder. And you don't have to put the baking powder in if you beat the eggs really well, but there you are. And we're going to put a little bit of vanilla in to give it a little bit of flavor. You can put a little bit of booze in there if you want to. And about 1.25 cups of flour. Now, you should sort of measure this out because it works better. You'll see what happens. Put that together in there. Now just beat the eggs and the sugar and the vanilla stuff together. Then put in the flour like that. And the big thing is in this, once you've got that mixed like that, see, it's pudding, right? Now you've got to thin it out. Now you keep on thinning it out until it's, let me show you how thick it is. Let's get that one out of there. Look, it's so thin, it runs like, now watch, I'll swish it around there like that. As I say, this is really a great thing for a non-stick pan. That's how you do that. It'll be really thin. So just put this in there and keep on going until it's enough milk, until it's really thin, like thin cream. And then you just let it sit, a bit more in there, let it sit until you're ready to use it. So I'm going to put that over there now. And while I'm doing that, you've seen what we're doing here. I'll just flip that one out onto there. I've got a bit overdone. Never mind if it gets overdone. This is the secret. You turn it over so nobody can see. Right? That's how you do that. So now, let's make Hungarian show. Let's make some soup. Everybody associates Hungarian food with big red goulashes and borschts. And let's make a nice, gentle, nice, light little soup. Let's get some apples, right, and a saucepan. Let's take this out of the way for a minute. I'll just put that there. And crank up stove. And we get some apples. Any kind of apples will do, but the more flavorful ones, the better. Right? 1 apple, 2 apples. Now you can peel them, or you can not peel them. But let's do it with 3 or 4 apples. Depends how big they are. Just push the core out of the middle like that. Right? That'll do. Now, cut them in half so you can handle them, so they won't roll about, and then just cut them up. Cut them up one way, and then cut them up the other way. That means they're small enough. Okay? Now, we want some sugar. What do I do with this sugar? A little bit of sugar in the pan, like 2 tablespoonfuls of sugar, and the chopped up apples. Put them right in there all together. Okay? Now, you want some lemon juice, because you want some liquid in there. Put the lemon juice in right away, and then that stops the sugar burning, see, because it's got liquid in there. And another bit of lemon juice. There, get rid of the pips. Some more apples. And apples don't take very long at all if you don't remember to turn the heat down. You keep the heat up, because most people fuss with apples. We'll do it very, 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 very quickly. Here's a Hungarian apple soup that we're going to make in about 2 minutes. And it's really, really quick, and it's great in the summertime. You don't eat it hot, you eat it cold. Now, we want a little bit of boiling water, because it is a soup. Put the water in out of the kettle, keep it up high, and boil the whole lot together. While that's happening, you can get the zest. I should have done this first of all, but I didn't. Get the zest off the outside of the lemon. See, it's much easier if you do it when the lemon's filled. So this is how not to do things, all right? Just put the lemon zest in there like that, and just bring it up to the boil. Let it cook. It's going to take about 2 minutes. I'm going to take about 2 minutes for a break, and I'll be back. Don't go away. Hungarian.
Don't go away. James will be right back.
Still Hungarian, still James Barber. I'm not Julia Child, okay? Apple soup. And now we're going to finish. We see the apples have boiled down. You made applesauce. And we're pouring some cold apple juice to bring it up there, to thin it out, because it's a summer soup, this. Turn off the heat, and we'll put the bits of, you remember the lemon zest that we talked about? We'll put that on top of it. And we're going to put a little bit of paprika on top of it. Like that, and I'm going to just bung it in the freezer to cool right down. Okay, this is the quickest way to do it. There's another way to do it, which is to put ice cubes, not ice cubes, but frozen chicken stock cubes in there, and you've got a really great chickeny sort of first course soup. Otherwise, this is dessert. Now, let's make a quick dish, Hungarian. Again, this is a wedding dish. And it's got no beef in it. No beef at all. It's a nice dish. It's made out of chicken. All right? So 1 chicken, 1 fry pan, and 1 chicken breast. Let's imagine that there's 2 people getting married. It's very difficult for 1 person to get married, so we'll have 2 chicken breasts. All right? And a little tiny bit of oil. Little tiny bit of oil in there, in the pan. As soon as the pan's hot, okay? Slids the oil around. The hotter the pan, see, the more the oil will run. See how that oil is running about in there? See it? Because it's hot. And in goes, let's take that tenderloin out of there. Put in there. That's the chicken tenderloin. That's the bit they sell for vast amounts of money. That'll cook very quickly because it's very tender. Just put that in there for a minute, and we'll just let it cook. Now, there's fancy things to go in with this. Raisins, or sultanas, or currants, call them what you like, but put them in with the chicken. And push them, scrape them off the top of the chicken, because you want them to cook. You want them to plump up a little bit. You want them to get the sugar coming out of them and making things very sweet in there. All right? Just like that. So put that in there and break up the lumps. The lumps will break up on their own in a minute, but we ought to do it. Oh my, I should get complaints. Break up the lumps of there, currants and things in there. We've got that. Right, now the tenderloins will go in there in a little minute. We're just going to let that cook until this side is done. All right? Just turn it over till it's just coloured on the outside. Stir it all around, and all we got in there right now, you got this in the cupboard. You know, you got currants and raisins and stuff in the cupboard, so just stir it all around until you can see everything start to glisten. Normally you don't mess about with food, you just put it in there, but when you've got lots of little things, you want all the flavours to get on all the surfaces. That way lies good stuff to eat. Right, now they're going. We want a little bit of paprika, because that's the essence of all good Hungarian cooking. We're going to put a little bit of paprika on the top of the chicken and just let it cook in there. Now, paprika comes in lots of varieties. There's good stuff and there's bad stuff. Normally, the expensive stuff is better, same with most spices, and you want stuff that really has got that colour to it. And sometimes they thin it out with stuff that isn't really very nice. Okay, now look. That's just cooking together and all starting to go great. Now we start to make a sauce for it. All right? We want a little bit of sugar. Let's not put sugar in because the currants are sweet enough already. And we want to put in a little bit of red wine. Right? But if you don't want to put red wine in there, I'll show you what you can do if you don't want to put red wine in there. Why don't you put some apple juice or some cranberry juice? I've got some cranberry juice here. Just going to make a sauce, right? So put any kind of juice in there, not orange juice. You want something that's got a little pungency to it. So that's making the sauce, and that's stopped everything burning. But see what the colour is starting to happen in there because we got the sugar going in there. Now we turn that over. Turn it over. There. Scrape those little currants off there like that, and that can cook. All right, we want a little bit of vinegar, a little tiny bit of vinegar, because we've got all that sweet stuff in there, so we want the sweet and the sour, and then all the grandmas can rhapsodize and say, oh, sweet and sour, that's just how marriage is. You have to take the ups with the downs. That's what I remember. And I go on and on. That's what weddings are for. Weddings and Christmas and all those festivals. Now boil the daylights out of it. A little bit of sugar, a little bit of salt, because you need the salt as well as the sweetness, and you need the bitterness of the vinegar as well as that. And you just cook it now and let it cook down. All right. Now it's time to put in the little tenderloins, because we just happen to have them around and they won't take so long to cook. And there's nothing worse than overcooked chicken. It tastes like cardboard. So this is a good 6-7 minute dish, this one. All right, and there we are. Now, we've got a little bit of dill that we're going to put in there as well, and that's it. Now, while we're talking about dill, and that's got to cook, okay, I am going to see if I can find it. This is one of my favourite things in Hungarian food. Get a cucumber and grate it. And on the coarse side of the grater. Right, put it in a tea towel, a clean one, and wring it out. Now look, see how much juice comes out of it? Look, just want to show you. All right, that's all spare juice. Now you take that cucumber, put it in a bowl on a plate, mix it with sour cream, a little bit of dill, a little bit of paprika. I'll be back in 2 minutes. We'll have this ready and this ready, okay?
James will be back in 2 minutes. Stay tuned.
Now, Hungarian, here's our wedding dish. Just in case you're getting married, I'm slicing up a lemon. I'm going to take this chicken, which is cooked in a bit of apple juice, and all these raisins. Going to take this out of the pan here. There's the tenderloins. You could make jokes about that, say, may all your troubles be little ones. You know the wedding jokes, the standard things, all right? No, we'll put that back in the pan, crank up the heat, and make this great sauce for it. How do you make a great sauce? Well, in proper kitchens, they call it deglazing the pan. All you do is pour wine or something in there to wash all the good stuff out of it and boil it down. So I'm just going to boil that down, and then we'll have the sauce ready to do that. Now, remember the soup? All right, the soup is chilling or chilled in the freezer. We just take this, get a bowl for it, put the bowl there, pour out the cold, cold apple soup with all those little shreds of lying in there, and we stir into it some sour cream or some whipping cream. I like whipping cream, and watch, and put it in, and you let it be in a cloud in the middle. You let it sit like that, and you maybe put a little bit of dill on the top of it, and everybody thinks you're enormously clever. Here's our sauce for the chicken. That's the red wine boiled down with the raisins in it. We pour that over the top. See, we put the lemon round the outside so that it would stay looking pretty. That's all right. Okay. Now let's go back to where we were with our crepes. Remember, we made all these crepes. You make a lot of crepes in advance. Now, to be really Hungarian about this, put the pan on, all right? You make a sauce. You just get things ready, all right? You get a little bit of apricot jam. You get a little bit of chocolate, and you get a few walnuts. All right, there's our, I forgot to tell you about the cucumber soup, the cucumber salad. It's just a grated cucumber. We squeezed it out, remember, get the juice out of it, put a little bit of sour cream with it. That's that done. I mean, all this cooking is really, really easy if you just get on with it. So we'll grate a little bit of chocolate. And this is how you do this. You get the chocolate ready, you get the walnuts ready, you get a plate. Let's be dramatic about this. Let's take one plate here to start. You just take your crepe, and if you want to warm it up with butter, that's fine, but if you don't, do it this way. Get the crepe, put a little bit of apricot jam. Apricot jam's a very big deal in Hungary. And you want a little bit of sour cream in there? All right, we'll put a little bit of sour cream in there as well. Just drizzle that. Don't overdo it, because you got to think of your waistline. And don't worry about waistline, because Hungarian women are the most beautiful women in the world for my money. They really are gorgeous. And some of them get quite large, but there's nothing wrong with a nice, gorgeous, large woman in my book. Some people like them skinny. Okay, so you roll up your crepe like that. Let's roll that one up like that. Let's get another one. Let's get one of these big ones that we got here. Well, see, they're quite strong when you've done it. And this one, we'll put a little bit of sour cream in like that, and a little bit of apricot jam. This is so easy because you've made it all in advance. You just roll it up together like that. Now, there's the pan ready to go. We're gonna chop these walnuts a little bit. Put the walnuts into the pan to warm up, and there they are. The walnuts going in the pan like that. We'll get a little tiny bit of icing sugar ready to go on the top. And if we were in Hungary, we'd be doing something nice. We're looking for the Slivovitz right now, which is a special kind of brandy they make. It's made out of plums. Excuse me, just a minute. Hello. Can I? Yeah, sure. Okay. Okay. No. She wants a little flambe. So there we are. We've got walnuts that we've got toasted walnuts to go on top of it. We've got flambe. How do you flambe? Well, you put some booze in a pan. Like that, and then you set light to it like that, and then when you've got it boiled down, you just pour it over the top. Hot booze. You can go on. You can, let me show you. See, if you wanted to, you could put this crepe in the pan, and you could put your little bit of apricot jam in it, just the way you did before, and you could put a little bit of sour cream in there, just the way you did before, and you could roll it up just the way you did before, like that. Then you could pour in your booze. You want to break them, take it to the table, just like that, and put it on the plate, all flaming. You put a little bit of icing sugar over the top. Let's move that one over so you can see. A little bit of icing sugar to make it look pretty. See, already. And then you finally put the grated chocolate over the top. Chocolate palacinta, these are called. So what did we do? We got done. We rushed a little bit, but you don't always have to do it all. The trick is to remember that you can make really great food with the simple stuff that you can find in the corner store. So that's what we did. We were Hungarian today. Who knows what we're going to be tomorrow? Don't go away.
The Urban Peasant will be right back.
Hungarian food, all right? Easy Hungarian food. We started off making crepes, and the only thing to remember about the crepes is to make the batter really, really thin, and then if you want to do it with booze and fancies and chocolates, that's fine, but if you just want to do it with the kids for breakfast, apricot jam, a little bit of sour cream, that's a great thing too, all right? So that was what we started off with. And we made this chicken dish, the wedding dish, with simple currants and a little bit, we put a little bit of red wine in there, but you don't have to. You put apple juice in there, and there it is, and it's made its own sauce, and it's pretty, and it tastes great. We made a cold soup out of apples, just simple. You can do it with canned apple juice, if you apple sauce if you want to, but we fancied it up a little bit, and a little bit of cream at the end, very, very nice. And then we finished up with the ultimate simplicity, a cucumber salad. Little cucumber, wring it out, and just put a little bit of paprika in with it, a little bit of salt, maybe a little bit of sugar, lemon juice. Great stuff. Cucumbers are about 85% juice, but if you squeeze that juice out of them just before you eat it, they go crisp and they've got that terrific texture. Nothing like, just wring it out in a towel and see how much juice comes out. You try it. Well, that was it, all the exotics out of the corner store. You know, if you can't go up to the store and buy it, who worries about it? So you haven't always got time to do it. Just hang on a minute. Hello? You weren't sure, but can you hang on just a minute? Just let me finish the show. Hold on. And I'm gonna phone Mrs. Goodbye. See ya. Bye. Hello?